What is up, guys? Lone Hawk here today, and welcome back to Overwatch. As I'm sure some of you are aware, competitive play will be coming to Overwatch very soon. And because of this, I felt it appropriate to make a video to help you guys all be more prepared than everyone else for the competitive scene. In today's video, I'll be giving you guys some tips, some tricks, some things you can practice. That way you guys can rank very highly and hopefully be the best you can be as soon as competitive comes out. Tip number 1 in today's video is going to be practice filling. Filling is the act of picking your hero last in the beginning of a game, that way you can cater who you pick towards your team's strengths and weaknesses. This tip actually has a lot of components to it, so let's go over them all. First, by filling, you're going to be learning a lot of roles that you may have not played had you been given the choice. For example, if you're an assault main and you just love Tracer, if you fill, you may be put at support or tank, other roles that you haven't played before. This is extremely beneficial because in ranked play, sometimes you're going to get teams that don't want to switch. You're going to need to be the fill player. You got to be the bigger person. This will make you more able to play these roles and hopefully carry your team to victory. Not only this, but when you're not playing these roles that you were filling in, you will know how to counter them better. Knowing a hero really well means you also know their weaknesses, and you can use that against them when they're on the enemy team. So essentially, the first component of filling is making yourself a jack of all trades. If you're better at every hero, you're going to be much better off in the game than people who have only played one. However, there's a lot more to filling than just getting better at many of the heroes. You will actually win more games when you fill, and I do mean this and I do believe it. You need to always assume you are the biggest person on your team. You're basically a teacher, and everyone else around you is a bunch of toddlers. If you tell a toddler they can't have something, they just want it more. So by telling some guy you picked Widowmaker first and he can't have it, you're just really going to anger him. He's not going to play well. He might not even switch, and you guys have 2 Widowmakers when you only need 1. It just never really turns out the way you want. By filling, you may not be getting the role you want, but you will win more games because you're the bigger person and you're not going to get salty because you didn't get a certain hero. Just be the bigger person, be the adult, play who your team needs, and I promise you, even though this tip has probably been stated, thousands and thousands of times, it will help you in ranked even more so than it will in normal play. Tip number 2 is practice your communication. As it stands currently in-game, nobody uses their microphones or text chat to really communicate about the game, to actually strategize against the enemy team. And you can't really blame them for this because currently people only play casually. There is no competitive mode. However, once you get to competitive, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more microphones and a lot more communication. So by practicing using communication in-game now, you're going to have an edge over the people that don't because, I myself have started to try to communicate with my team when I really want to win a game. And as long as you're nice and you're not being rude, most people often listen to you when you're talking to them actually. In the chat, some people won't listen to you because they just don't care. But when you're actually talking to them and explaining what you want it to be done because you know it will work, they will listen to you. So practice this. Become a leader, basically, on the battlefield. If you are a leader and you know how to strategize and you know how to counter enemy teams and you're just polite about it as well, people will listen to what you have to say and you'll win more games. And the other aspect of this too is that there are a lot of people out there that get really salty, really tilted, and just generally frustrated whenever something bad happens in a game. I've seen a lot of people who just outright leave the game when you lose the first objective on defense. They just don't care. They automatically assume you can't win the game and they just leave. You really don't want this in ranked. You can't control other people, but you can talk to them. You can explain to them why maybe the second point is easier to hold or what we need to do with your team comp to, win the game. So by talking to people, you keep them from getting tilted and frustrated, and you can hopefully win a few more games because of it. Tip number 3 is one I don't actually see given to people very often, and even if I tell you it, most of you probably won't do it, but I assure you it will help. Learn the different maps of Overwatch. It's one thing to know a hero or a group of heroes and be good with them, but you don't want to be good. You want to be great, and learning maps and actually what works on them, where you can wall run as Lucio or get to as Hanzo or Widowmaker is going to make you a great player, and that's going to separate you from just the good players at medium elos and make you a great player at higher elos. And it's not even too hard to practice this. Whenever you get in a game on a certain map, maybe try a hero you've never tried on that map before to see if it works. Or go into a private game with some friends or even by yourself and just explore the map. See where you can get to, the different locations that can be reached by different heroes. This kind of information is going to help you greatly, not only so you can use it, but so you can know how to counter it when the enemies use it as well. If you don't even want to do this, there's an easier way. You can look up map guides. There are guides out there to every different map in Overwatch, and I'm actually going to be making my own here very shortly, ultimate map guides as well. So if you want to see a certain map, leave a comment down below. But anyway, yeah, you can look up map guides. You can watch videos of people playing on specific maps. Just see how it works. Get a feel for what's around you, and it's going to make you a much better player than you were before. Alright guys, I was trying to make this video 5 minutes long, but this last tip is potentially one of the best ones here, and I use it all the time because I'm a YouTuber. My last tip is make sure you watch your own gameplay if you can. I get that some of you are on consoles or some of you can't record on your PC. However, if you can, I highly recommend watching your gameplay back, maybe at a slower speed or just pausing when necessary, and look at every decision you made. See where you messed up, because in-game you think differently than when you're re-watching. In-game, you may think a decision you made was perfect. There was nothing you could have done to avoid that death. However, when you re-watch the video, when you evaluate what you did, you will often find that you did mess up somewhere and you could have avoided that death maybe. And this will help you because you will notice that, oh, hey, I could have heard that Reaper. I heard him teleporting behind me. Why didn't I turn around and kill him? You know, stuff like that. When you watch it and you see it after you've done it, you are less likely to make the mistake again. And I honestly think this has personally made me a much better player than I would have been had I not been given this ability. If you can't record your own gameplay or watch it, watch other people's gameplay. But don't just watch it for entertainment, watch it to see what the person did wrong and maybe see what they could have done better. Another series I've been considering doing is actually one where I record, a live commentary, maybe no commentary on a gameplay, and then I go back and watch it and I record my reactions to what happened. And I explain to you guys what I did right and what I did wrong. I think this can be done by yourself. You don't even need me to do this. However, if you can't record your own gameplay, people like me will do it for you. So like I said, if you can watch your own gameplay, watch it. If you can't, watch other people's and be really nitty-gritty and look for the mistakes they made. That way you can avoid making them too. Hopefully you all found these tips useful and helpful. If you did, be sure to check out my 9 quick tips to winning more in Overwatch in under 5 minutes. That's another video that will help you win more games. This one was more catered to ranked and dealing with teammates, but that one will help you be a better player personally. So I'll link that on your screen right now. It'll be a card or something, and hopefully you guys all stay tuned for my next video. I don't know what it is yet, but it'll be a thing. There'll be a video. I'll see you guys all later. Lone Hawk out.